hal gacan idin markaa. Toso isku tiirsadaye hadbakiina taagdarane taageera weligiine. Go ahead. Hal gacan idin markaa.
All right, guys, so we have successfully raised the Somalia flag right in front of the City Hall, Buffalo City Hall, with the American flag. Wow, what a proud moment. What a proud moment for all the Somalis over here in Buffalo, New York, and also in the United States of America.
Just celebrating, but honoring and remembering and ushering in the future. Some citizens are furious that Democrat leaders are celebrating another country's Independence Day. Cities including Boston, Buffalo, Minneapolis are flying the Somali flag. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts Emily Campagno and Kayleigh McEnany. Also joining us today, Kennedy, host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, and Dakota Meyer is here, Medal of Honor recipient and our friend. Well, we've been tracking a number of Democrat-led cities that have appeared to put America's 250th birthday on the back burner. Buffalo held a celebration for Somali Independence Day, flying the country's flag at City Hall, that country's flag, and just a day after canceling its 4th of July fireworks show. The city said it ran into logistical issues. In Boston, Democrat Mayor Michelle Wu also celebrated Somalia weeks after she proposed cutting nearly $1 million from veteran services. That is so unpatriotic. Wu eventually restored the funding after fierce backlash. Yeah, they gave her some oxygen. She woke up. In Columbus, Ohio, the Parks Department is backtracking after a now-deleted social media post that promised a similar celebration. A firestorm erupting on social media. Critics are going after the city's decision to celebrate a foreign country so close to our Independence Day, with one pointing out.
What's up, family? So a Somali flag went up right outside Buffalo City Hall this week, right next to the American flag, days before the 4th of July. And that same week, that same city cancels its own fireworks show, causing logistical issues, as you guys just heard. Now, from my perspective, that's not a scheduling problem. That's a choice about what a city wants to celebrate. And here's the part that made this whole thing blow up. Somebody in Buffalo already ripped that flag down off the pole. And now the mayor is furious, more upset about that than anything else that happened this week. And we're going to break this down, walk through what actually happened, and get into why people are mad. So let's get into it. So let's lay out the facts plainly, because you need the timeline before you can understand the anger. Wednesday, July 1st, the city of Buffalo holds a flag raising ceremony for Somali Independence Day. This happens at Negeri Square, right in front of City Hall. Officials show up, cameras show up. It's a whole ceremony that same week. City Hall puts out a statement saying there will be no fireworks show for July 4th. Now remember, this isn't just any July 4th. This is the 250th birthday of the country. And the reason they gave, they couldn't identify a safe site for people to watch fireworks. Now, think about that for a second. This is a city, a whole city with parks, with waterfronts, with open space all over the place. And the excuse is they couldn't find one spot to do a fireworks show, but they had a spot, staff, and a schedule ready to go for a foreign country's Independence Day. So here's the obvious question, and I think it's fair. How do you find the time and the space for Somali's flag, but you can't find it for America's own 250th birthday? That's not a small gap. That's the whole story right there. And Congressman Nick Langworthy said it plain. He said Buffalo's leaders claimed they couldn't find a site for fireworks, yet they had no problem finding time and space to raise a Somali flag. And his exact point was, and that wasn't a logistical challenge, it was a choice. And I think that's the cleanest way to say it. Now, to be fair, let's give some history here because I want this to be accurate. That flagpole in Negeri Square has been used to fly rotating flags since 1986. It actually started out flying Canada's flag, so it's not like this pole just appeared out of nowhere to only fly foreign flags. It's had a rotation going for almost 40 years. I want you to hold on to that because it matters for the next section. But here's where it gets interesting. After the ceremony, after the fireworks got canceled, somebody vandalized that flagpole, stole the Somali flag right off of it. And once that happened, bomb threats started coming into City Hall. Not one, multiple threats, according to the report, targeting the building, targeting council members. And this is where it doesn't add up for a lot of people. The mayor is now more upset, more vocal, more fired up about a stolen flag and the backlash he's getting than he ever was about canceling America's own birthday party. Let that sink in for a second. A flag getting stolen brought out more urgency from City Hall than the country turning 250 did. So now you got a mayor on the defensive, and he's got a response to all of this. And I think you need to hear his side before I give you my verdict, because that's how we do it here, family, over here.
Developing tonight, we're taking a live look at Buffalo City Hall as police investigate an online threat to blow up the iconic building. They're also looking into the harassment of several city lawmakers following the raising of the Somali flag in Niagara Square this week. Well, the flag raising ceremony took place on Wednesday, which is when the city of Buffalo released a statement explaining why there would be no fireworks show in the city to mark the country's 250th anniversary this weekend. Well, since then, someone vandalized the pole and stole the Somali flag, and now the city of Buffalo leaders are facing increased scrutiny over the lack of holiday plans this 4th of July weekend.
You only turned 250 years old once, so this is a major milestone in the history of our nation.
Just days before our nation's 250th anniversary, City of Buffalo Mayor Sean Ryan releasing a statement saying that the Queen City will not be hosting a July 4th fireworks show. The administration cited an appropriate site could not be identified that would provide a safe and widely accessible viewing experience for residents. Erie County Republican Committee Chairman Michael Crocker says he feels Mayor Sean Ryan's administration not making this a priority is unacceptable.
They say they had logistical challenges. I think everybody at home knows that if the mayor wanted to make the fireworks happen, he would have made it happen.
The city's announcement came on the same day the city hosted an annual flag-raising ceremony on Wednesday, July 1st, commemorating Independence Day for the country of Somalia. This is something the Queen City does frequently for organizations in various communities throughout the year. The flag-raising has come under fire from lawmakers, including Western New York Republican Congressman Nick Langworthy, saying, quote, Buffalo's leaders claim they couldn't find a site to celebrate America's 250th birthday with fireworks, yet they somehow had no trouble finding the time and space to raise a Somali flag. That wasn't a logistical challenge, it was a choice. Crocker says he fully understands recognizing other communities, citing America is a country built by immigrants, though he says commemorating another country's independence is not what this week is about.
Buffalo is a gem. There is so much history in this city as it relates to the story that is America, and we've done nothing to celebrate that out of the city of Buffalo and Mayor Sean Ryan's city hall.
Now the city has no fireworks show, and someone has illegally taken down the Somali flag that was raised in front of City Hall.
Do you think the vandalism was justified yesterday?
No, I don't think it is, and I don't think it ever should be. I don't think it was appropriate to have that event when you haven't properly recognized the United States of America.
Shane Keyes, president of Our City Action Buffalo, says these two things should not be in the same conversation.
You know, it's really apples to oranges with a fireworks display and a flag being raised in terms of logistics and the technical needs of those two different things.
Keyes added that OCAB condemns the Somali flag being taken down, calling it a form of hate speech, and says this is not a good representation of the city of good neighbors.
They are our family members, they are our colleagues.
A shocking number as we are almost to the 250th anniversary of this country. Here it is. Only 33% of the public say they are extremely proud to be an American. That is the lowest rating ever recorded in Gallup polling. And that goes all the way back to 2001. So in 25 years, we have the lowest number of people, 33%, saying they're extremely proud to be an American.
You know, among Republicans, 93% are extremely or very proud. Just a single one, say they have little to no pride in being an American. But look over at the Democratic side. This is where we've seen this extremely or very number. It's been taking a tumble at 27%, which is way different than the 93. You do the quick math with me here. What is that? That's a 66-point difference here in terms of extremely or very. But look at this. The little or no proud to be an American actually among Democrats eclipses is greater than the extremely or very proud number. So we are just living in such a different universe if you're a Republican versus a Democrat on the basic fundamental question of being proud to be an American.
So when you look at it, here's the mayor's side, and we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted you guys to see that because I want to give it to you straight, because this is how we do this. Mayor Sean Ryan says flags get raised in Niagara Square for all kinds of nationalities all year round. This wasn't some special treatment cooked up just for Somalia. According to the report, that poll has hosted ceremonies for different communities plenty of times, and this was just one more on the list. And then he took it a step further. His exact comeback was that he never heard Nick Langworthy or Michael Crocker, who you guys just seen in the clip that I played, complain when a European flag went up on that same pole. Now, family, I got to be honest with you. That's not a throwaway line. That's him trying to flip the script and say, where was the outrage before? And to be fair, that point has some logic to it. That pole really has flown all kinds of flags since 1986, like we said, and nobody made a peep about it back then. And yeah, I understand why he's asking that question. I'm not going to pretend that's a dumb argument. It's not. But here's where it doesn't add up for me. This was never really about one flagpole. It's about what happened in that same news cycle, back to back, side by side. One country gets a full ceremony, speeches, cameras, a celebration, and the birthday of the actual nation, the one everybody in that city lives in, gets canceled the same week. That's the part the mayor's answer doesn't cover. And you could defend the flagpole all day. You still got to explain why America's 250th got skipped. Now, other folks in Buffalo weren't holding back either. Shane Keys, who runs our city action Buffalo, came out and called the flag theft, hate speech, strong words. And the other side, Erie County GOP Chairman Michael Crocker called the whole fireworks excuse unacceptable, plain and simple. So you got two totally different anger points happening at the same time. One side is angry about a flagpole getting stolen off a pole, a flag getting stolen off a pole. The other side is angry about America's birthday getting canceled in the first place. And from my perspective, here's the verdict. Nobody out there is mad that Somali people live in Buffalo. Nobody's mad they got history worth honoring. That's not it. I'm not going to pretend that's what this is. What people are mad about is simple. Celebrating America got treated like an afterthought, and celebrating somewhere else got treated like a priority. All right? Like the priority. So I want you guys to hear the mayor now.
Now to a local story making national headlines tonight. The Somali flag stolen from Niagara Square hours after it was raised to celebrate Somali Independence Day. And the controversy didn't start with the vandalism itself. Republican lawmakers attacking the city of Buffalo for having an event for the flag raising after canceling July 4th fireworks displays. Congressman Nick Langworthy sharing his thoughts on social media, saying it wasn't American. Tonight, the city now speaking out. 7 News senior reporter Maki Becker tells us what the mayor had to say this afternoon.
We hang flags on Niagara Square all throughout the year, all different nationalities.
Flag-raising ceremonies are a long-standing tradition in Niagara Square. Politicians and community leaders gather for speeches and photos as they hoist the flags of other countries and causes. Then on Wednesday, there was a ceremony to raise the Somali flag, and that set off a firestorm of controversy, with Erie County GOP leader Michael Crocker and Republican Congressman Nick Langworthy questioning the city for allowing the Somali flag to be flown, while also criticizing Mayor Sean Ryan for not holding a city-sponsored fireworks show to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
They have intentionally politicized the fact that a Somali flag was hung on Niagara Square on July 1st, as it has been for several years.
So Niagara Square has 2 flagpoles, and one always flies the American flag, and then there's this other one. Now, it turns out it was dedicated back in 1986. It was presented by the AMVETS to then Mayor Jimmy Griffin, and it was meant to fly the Canadian flag. And since then, it's been rotated for other flags ever since.
On Friday, the mayor addressed the complaints.
I never heard Nick Langworthy or Michael Crocker complain when we hung a flag of a European white nation.
Ryan telling reporters that the remarks, shared widely on social media, have helped fuel threats and harassment at City Hall, including an online threat to blow up City Hall. Someone also damaged the flagpole and stole the Somali flag.
Threats against myself, threats against council members, threats against city property, threats against City Hall, bomb threats.
Crocker told me in response to Ryan's remarks, unlike Sean Ryan, I intend to spend my July 4th weekend proudly celebrating the 250th anniversary of our nation, fireworks included. Langworthy commented, Sean Ryan can call me whatever he wants. I'm not backing down. I believe a city as great as Buffalo should proudly celebrate America's 250th birthday. Maki Becker, 7 News.
Let's go guys, aan maqle heestan.
Step back, please.
If this doesn't make you angry, I don't know what will, quite frankly. So a few months ago, Bristol Council said that putting up our flags was divisive. They claimed the flags were being used to cause division and that the far right were taking the flag out of context and using it for hate. Because apparently, in modern Britain, flying the flag in our own country is no longer patriotism. No. It's a, community cohesion issue. It's divisive. It's intimidating. It's problematic. It causes foreign people who choose to come here, well, it causes them it causes them alarm and distress. Now, the so-called left, the local councils, etc., said it's different when there's a football tournament on because then, well, people are putting them up for all the right reasons. Well, now that the World Cup is here, more flags have started appearing again across Bristol and throughout the country, quite frankly. People have put them up outside their homes, across streets, around their communities because, and this might shock quite a few people, but England fans are supporting England. Now, Bristol Council have come out again and said that those flags need to come down too. Of course they have, which is interesting because guess what has just taken place in Bristol? In the same place that England flags have been taken down from. Somalian Day! That's right, Bristol Lord Mayor, that's this guy, took to social media to celebrate the fact that they were all able to celebrate and fly the flags of Somalia. Are you seeing it yet? Are you seeing it yet?
So there you have it, family. And like I said, what people are mad about is simple. Celebrating America got treated like an afterthought. And that's the whole tension in one sentence. And look, family, this ain't just a Buffalo problem. This same pattern is showing up in city after city. And once I show you the numbers behind it, which I already have, you're going to see exactly why people are so on edge about it. Because if you zoom out, because Buffalo isn't happening in a bubble. There's a number I need you to sit with the Gallup poll that we just heard about. Asked Americans a simple question: are you proud to be an American? Only 33% said they're extremely proud. 33%. The lowest number Gallup has recorded since they started tracking it back in 2001. I'm going to say that again because it's worth repeating. 1 in 3. That's it. That's how many people in this whole country say they're extremely proud to call themselves American, right as the nation hits 250 years old birthday. Now, break down the party split because this is where it gets real plain. 93% of Republicans say they are extremely or very proud to be American. 93%. Now look at the other side. Only 27% of Democrats say the same thing. Not 20, not 93, 27. Not 93, 27. And I'm not giving you that number to score points against anybody, family. I'm giving it to you because that's a 66-point gap. And a gap that big tells you something real about how this country sees itself right now. When 2/3 of one party feel little to no pride in their own country, that's not a small crack. That's a country that doesn't agree on the basics anymore. And that disagreement is showing up in the city halls all over the map, which brings me to Boston because you guys already seen Mayor Michelle Wu got out there and celebrated Somali's independence. And around that same stretch, she had proposed cutting close to $1 million from veteran services. Veterans, the people who actually put their life on the line for this flag. Now, to be fair, once the backlash hit, she reversed course and restored the funding. But think about the order those two things happened in. The cut came first, the celebration came first. The correction only came after people got loud about it. And Columbus, Ohio did the same dance. City Parks Department put out a post promising a similar Somali celebration. And once the backlash rolled in, they deleted it and backed off. So now you got 3 different cities, 3 different states, all running into the same problem within the same few weeks. That's not a coincidence anymore, family. That's a pattern. And here's where it stops being just an American story. Cross the ocean to Bristol in the UK. Their local council put out a statement saying England flags flying around town were divisive, called them a problem, and said they were causing what they termed a community cohesion issue. Then that same council turned right around and celebrated Somali Independence Day. Same city, same council, one flag is divisive, the other flag gets a celebration. So let's call this what it actually is. This is a push, and I'm not being dramatic saying it, to make American identity and British identity feel like something you got to apologize for, while every other identity out there gets celebrated in the open with no hesitation at all. And this is what people are saying. That's the pattern. Buffalo isn't an isolated story. It's one city in a much bigger picture. So here's my verdict, family, plain and simple. You can honor where your people come from without disrespecting where you actually live. Those two things aren't in competition, and they were never supposed to be. Buffalo had the chance to do both, and instead they picked one over the other. That's the whole thing right there. And I want to close with something that's been sitting with me this whole breakdown. Mark chapter 3, verse 25 says, "And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand." Now stay with me because this verse fits Buffalo better than almost anything I could come up with on my own. Think about a city like a house. Everybody living in it, working in it, raising their kids in it, that's the household. And when the people running that house start caring more about the outside flags than the home everybody actually shares, cracks start showing up in the foundation. Not right away, but they show up. And that's not me being dramatic, family. That's just how houses work, physical or otherwise. Now, for my viewers who aren't the spiritual type, let me translate that into plain life wisdom, because this rule doesn't need a Bible to be true. Any team falls apart the second the people in charge stop putting the shared house first. Any family falls apart the same way. Any community, same story. You don't need scripture to know a house with no foundation doesn't stand. You've seen it in your own life. A job where leadership stops caring about the people who built it. The problem is, a lot of times when it comes to leadership, they don't think that they work for their employees. They think the other way around. A team where the coach starts favoring outsiders over the guys who showed up every day. Same principle, different building. So here's the practical takeaway, and I want you to really sit with this one. Shared identity is what holds a place together. That's it. That's the glue. And leaders who keep choosing outside symbols over their own community's identity, they're the ones cracking the foundation. Not the people calling it out, not the folks in Buffalo asking why America's 250th got skipped. The crack started at the top, family, not from the people pointing at it. Let me know what you think in the comments, family. I want to hear your take on this one. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this breakdown with somebody who needs to see it. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. And as I always say, family, look, peace and unity overall. And enjoy your 4th of July in this amazing country of the United States of America on its 250th birthday. Stay safe. And as always, family, I appreciate you for rocking with me, and my love and peace extended to you always. As always, on that note, family, peace.